Hello, I am Hacker of channel formerly known as Cartoony2. I hacked channel from 2.7 to 2.13 and now give channel back and also give shirt that has Steven Universe YouTubers making me cry. I cry. I cry a lot. This is my accent for some reason. Shirt features Mikhail Williams and Halle Crater from Cartoon Universe, Ostruk Vux from the Rune Table, Mekat Woodward, Skiwood Wang, Roses Universe, Sleaze of Otaku, Swiggy Thunder, Fictional Christios, Ikem Lewison, Kitsune Zatsuku, and me. I cry. Very sorry. Art by Kasuni Zakolo. Can support Kasuni Zakolo by going to Redbubble, getting phone case, wall art, mug, bag, sticker, or card. Shirt available till March 7th. Please buy and enjoy video while I look for job. What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and today we have a quick review of Rocknaldo. I want to apologize in advance. There's a guy fixing the roof right now. So if you hear any banging or weird saw noises or anything like that, that would be the reason why. So I apologize in advance. We had a leak. We had some leaks during the rain in my room. It wasn't pleasant. So we're trying to fix those leaks. Maybe Cartoon Network should take some notes from me. Because the leaks? Okay. All right. Support us on Patreon. Okay, so this is Rocknaldo. So just addressing the elephant in the room right now. Yes, there was a Cartoon Network post on Twitter and Tumblr about a new gem that would be meeting in this episode. And a lot of people assumed that it was Bloodstone based off the image, and that's the image right there. And I stated in our coverage of that post, of that news, that I thought it might be Ronaldo's Gemsona. That's the thing that makes the most sense. And a lot of people in the Steven Universe YouTube community came to the same conclusion because it made the most sense, and it wasn't super hard to think about. So we all pretty much came to the same conclusion, and we were all right. It was just Ronaldo's gem persona, his Gemsona, if you will. And I can already tell there's going to be an onslaught of hate thrown on the Cartoon Network Twitter and Tumblr, and I can't necessarily say I blame them because people already cannot stand Ronaldo. Ronaldo is most likely the most hated and despised character in the show. I never personally hated him that much. I didn't particularly enjoy him either, but I never hated him to the extent that people really just threw hate at Ronaldo the character. I thought he was okay. He served his purpose. He wasn't around enough for me to really get bothered, but I after this episode, I can kind of understand a little more because now I just, I don't know. And again, we were expecting this, but now that it's confirmed that it was Ronaldo's Gemsona and nothing really important happens, it definitely kind of, it's a little painful. It's mildly painful inside. And I feel like Steven Universe this season has been very, I don't want to say lackluster per se. I guess kind of lackluster. It just hasn't been focused on a lot of important details. Not even with the characters, really. It's been just a lot of side character stuff. Not to say that it was bad. You know, it's been bad. But like Zoltron was a weak episode, in my opinion. I enjoyed it. It was so good. It was just kind of weak. And this episode, I don't know how I feel. Like a lot of people really hate this episode, Rocknaldo. I don't think I hate it per se. I didn't get anything out of it. And I feel like we didn't even really get solid development for Ronaldo, really. Like we kind of did, kind of like he learned to not be a jerk, I guess. I don't know what he learned here, so I'm just gonna kind of go through the episode really quick, just kind of skim through what happened. But like it's not that much to talk about. But pretty much everything we stated was more or less correct about this episode. There's not a lot of details, and again, we didn't even get really any foreshadowing on this episode. You know, that's something a lot of people were expecting now because Ronaldo has called so many major plot points at this point. He's called the Zoo and the Diamond Authority and everything. So a lot of people thought, including us, that there might be an important piece of information that he gives out in this episode that may come into play later on as an important plot point. But I don't think that's the case. The only thing he mentioned was in the beginning, which we already talked about in our leak analysis, which was there being mind control minerals in the water supply. That's pretty much the only thing, which that could still come true. But other than that, there's nothing really left. So basically, Ronaldo wants to be a crystal gem. So Steven goes to his blog and looks at the new video post that he makes about him wanting to become a crystal gem. And he's watching this with Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl at the house. And Ronaldo just kind of barges through the door with his suitcase. And he's like, hey, guess what? Steven's like, you want to become a Crystal Gem? He's like, oh, I thought you never asked. And, obviously the rest of the Crystal Gems are not buying this. They're not into this. This is a terrible idea. And Steven basically convinces them, like, hey, we're all about acceptance and love, and he's into our cause, so why not? Connie helps us out. And Garnet is like, okay. And the rest of the gems are like, you know what? Screw it. We're into it. He can stay here. He can become an honorary Crystal Gem, essentially, which is kind of surprising. And basically, he comes up with his gem sona, and it was Bloodstone. And people were correct about that. I'm sort of glad they got that out of the way in the beginning. We'd have to kind of wait and see what happened. But he has his own weapon, which he got from a convention called I Can't Believe My Stepfather's a Sword. It's from an anime. And that's the name of the anime. That was really funny. That was pretty funny. And that's his Jeppin, I think he called it, which is a gem weapon. And his persona's Bloodstone. And basically just going around with the sword, and I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I don't have anything to say about this episode, to be honest. Like, it's not that I didn't like it. It just wasn't. It had moments where you got some chuckles, but it wasn't particularly funny. It wasn't particularly emotional. It didn't really give us a lot of development for Rocknaldo, really. Not really. Kind of more understanding of the gems, sort of, but nothing major. That's really all I gotta say. He acts like a complete jerk, and he tells Steven off, even though Steven was right. Steven did snap at him, but he tells Steven off, like, oh, it's not love and acceptance, why are you mad at me, brr, 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 brr. And Rocknaldo just acts all high and mighty, like he's above everyone else, like a complete jerk, and like he's been doing this for years. And he isn't sleeping because he thinks he can just handle being a gem, just not sleeping. And then Steven tells him off, or as Amethyst put it, truths him so hard that he died. But he didn't die, he just passed out from lack of sleep. And then 3 weeks later, Steven finds him being angsty and edgy on the beach, looking out into the distance. And Rocknaldo apologizes, and he has a pamphlet on the Crystal Gems and how to help the Crystal Gems. And they have a little heart-to-heart, and that's it. So that's probably the only important piece of information, is that Rocknaldo is getting the information out on the Crystal Gems, so more people might actually recognize them for what they do, potentially. That's pretty much it. I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say about this episode. It was very lackluster. It was one of the weaker ones in the series. It might be my least favorite. Because it's just like, even though it had nothing to, because I like episodes that have nothing to do with the plot, like they're not inherently bad. A lot of people think they're inherently bad. I do enjoy a lot of those episodes. Onion's actually like probably my favorite character, and he's obviously not a main character. So it's not about it not being relevant. It's about it not being relevant, but also just it wasn't that funny. It wasn't emotional at all. I didn't feel for Rocknaldo, really. I don't think we were really supposed to either. So it just wasn't funny enough or entertaining enough for me to not feel like it was a lackluster episode. And I don't really have much to say about it. There weren't really any details that I caught that I feel like could come into play. The only thing I can think about is the minerals, the mind control minerals in the water, and potentially a Bloodstone becoming a real gem one day, which is like the only way Cartoon Network's Twitter and Tumblr they're going to survive, because I would not have done that. I get what they're going for. I appreciate their trollage on an objective level, but also on an objective level, that was probably not a smart decision to make, given the internet and how the internet reacts to things, and especially how Steven Universe fans can react to things. So I feel like that was a big mistake. I think they're going to catch a lot of flack for that. It's just ultimate bait. That was the best bait of all time. I don't even know what to say. And again, we all kind of expected it, but there was a little tiny piece of me that was like, please just give us this. Give us this. Do not do this. Especially since Rocknaldo's already hated enough. So I don't know. This was an episode that exists. Tiger Philanthropist is next, and then after that we might have a hiatus, and that kind of stings even more, knowing that we might not get some episodes for a while after next week, and this was one of the last episodes that we had to watch. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This was an episode. It was one of my least favorites. It's probably between this and Rising Tide Crashing Skies. Zoltron and Garnet's universe. I did enjoy Garnet's universe though, so maybe I wouldn't even put that there. I don't know. It's one of my least favorites. It might be my least favorite. I kind of have to simmer on this one, to be honest. A lot of people are already writing this off as like the worst episode, and I can't necessarily disagree with that. I think that's fairly accurate. So yeah, that's our review of Rocknaldo. It's an episode. I watched it. It exists. It's a thing. It's not that bad, but it's not great. Nothing really happened. I don't know what to say. Put it this way, if this was a star episode, I wouldn't have made a video about it. That's kind of the episode it was. It was kind of like Bounce Lounge, but like worse than Bounce Lounge. Less entertaining than Bounce Lounge. More entertaining than Trickstar, but less entertaining than Bounce Lounge. If you don't watch Star vs. Force of Evil, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and I apologize. But that's basically where I would put this episode. Nothing really happened, I don't think. We'll see. I don't think we got much development for Ronaldo. Wasn't that funny, wasn't emotional, had nothing to do with the plot, nothing to do with main characters. It was just kind of there. If you were ever to call a Steven Universe episode filler, besides Garnet's Universe and say Uncle, I feel like this one is most likely fair enough. We'll see. Thanks for watching and dealing with my rambling about an episode that didn't give me too much to work with. I appreciate it. Big shout out to all of our amazing patrons. We just updated our Patreon goals, so if you want to check that out, go click that link. And yeah, we'll see you next video. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.